What is up, everybody? Welcome to another Reezy Resells knowledge bomb drop for retail arbitrage, selling online, making money, all that sort of stuff. Quitting your 9 to 5, you're in the right place. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. Press the subscribe button down there. My name is Reezy, and for the past almost 14 years now, I've sold full-time on Amazon and eBay. Mostly Amazon and mostly used books. In that time, I have grossed over $5 million of sales. Not profit, gross. But I want you to think about that for a minute. For a high school dropout that didn't go to college and didn't have a lot of options, I've averaged $385,000 of gross sales a year for the last 13 years, almost 14 now. I'm far from being rich, but I have a rich lifestyle. I live in coastal California. I own my own time. My wife doesn't have to work. I'm able to do what I want to do, to pursue social media, to do YouTube. There's no way I would be able to do YouTube and help you guys out if I didn't have this freedom. And I'm so thankful for that freedom because it allows me to do this. And this is what really fulfills me and makes me feel like I'm making a difference in the world, which totally changed my life. So in this video, I'm going to talk about what apps I use when I'm scanning stuff in stores to buy it to make money for profit. It was by far the most popular question that I've been getting on my YouTube channel recently. I gained over 10,000 followers in the last couple weeks, and it was all because of one video. And in this one video, repeatedly, again and again, like 50 times a day, people would ask me, what app are you using? What app are you using? So I'm going to tell you guys. So for general retail arbitrage scouting, which means going to stores and scanning stuff, I use an app called Scoutify, Scoutify. Hold on, let me set a timer. I have a tendency to ramble on, so I'm going to set a 10-minute timer on this video. So hopefully I can get my message across in 10 minutes or less. So Scoutify, Scoutify. Now this app is free in conjunction. It is free as long as you have a subscription to Inventory Lab, which costs, I believe, $40 or $50 a month. What is up, Alexander? What is up, Chris? Inventory Lab is the industry standard software that everyone uses for listing their products to Amazon, because the Amazon interface for listing, it's really bougie and it takes forever. It's super slow. I know people that use it. In fact, I know people that list stuff on their phone, but it just is not convenient, especially when you are listing a lot of stuff like we do. So almost everyone uses Inventory Lab, and free with Inventory Lab is Scoutify. Now, Scoutify is not good for books because it does not have a downloadable database, but it's good for almost everything else because it just has all the features you would need. It's live only, but it has a great buy list, which means when you're buying stuff, you say, yeah, I bought that, I bought this many of them, I paid that much. You add it to the buy list, and you can email it to yourself and import it into Inventory Lab, which makes creating a shipment much faster. So imagine you have a carload of goods, but you already have the list, and you just upload it into Inventory Lab, and now you don't have to go through scanning everything into Inventory Lab. It's already in there. That saves so much time. Now for books, I use an app called Scout IQ, and there's a link down there to sign up for a free trial for Scout IQ. I highly recommend it. And a lot of the scanning apps are similar. There's only 2 scanning apps that have database for books in the United States. One is Scout IQ, like I mentioned, and the other is FBA Scan. Both very similar. I prefer Scout IQ for books, and then I use Scoutify for everything else, which I also have because it's free with Inventory Lab. Now, if you don't use Inventory Lab, you might want to use another software called FBA Scan, which is it's the original scanning app that's been around for like 10 years or so. It's probably the first one, and that also has database, but it does more than books. It does everything, so you can get database on everything. Scout IQ has a database for books and the ability to scan everything else in live mode, but I prefer to use Scout IQ for books and Scoutify since I already have that for everything else. Now, the reason you need database with books is because books, 95 to 99% of every book you scan is going to be worthless, right? Your job as a bookseller is not necessarily to find the books, the good books. It's to get through the bad ones as fast as possible. I see Christopher Grant in the chat talking about back in the old PDA days. Yeah, back in the old PDA days when before smartphone apps existed for scouting, we used pocket PCs, which was super crazy. So yeah, there's that. And there's so many other, not like so many, but so you could use the Amazon Seller app, which is completely free. You just have to use the camera to scan the barcode, and you have limited data that you can look at. You don't get a sales rank chart. One of the things that every pro scanning app has is a one-click access to see the sales rank chart through history, either Camel or Keepa.com, Keepa.com. And if you are in the business of buying stuff to sell for profit on Amazon, you absolutely need to understand how to read sales rank charts. I prefer Keepa over Camel. Sometimes Keepa doesn't have the data and Camel does, so you use that. But for the most part, Keepa is going to be a huge asset for everyone. And also there's one-click button on almost all apps to see the active FBA offers like currently listed on Amazon, because the database is, usually pulled from Amazon 1 or 2 times a day, depending on what software you're using. Andries Hunt says he still sees people use pocket PCs at the Goodwill outlet. Those people are dinosaur cavemen status. They don't understand the future. So real quick, guys, if you're watching this and you appreciate it, please hit the like button. There's only 9 likes and there's 76 people watching, so a few of you guys could just tap the thumbs up button real quick. I would appreciate it. So you got Amazon Seller app, which is free. You got Scoutify, which is live only, and I use that for retail arbitrage. You have Scout IQ, which is mostly for books, but also has book database, and it also does live everything else. Then you have FBA Scan, which has live and database for everything, and that's the originator. They're kind of getting stale, and they're actually copying Scout IQ now. Then you have something called Profit Bandit, which is an FBA Scan clone, but I believe it's only $10 a month, and it only has live lookup. And then there's some other ones. There's Scout Pal, I believe Nido Scan, and that one's great because it works in the UK. And so you'll have to check that out if you're in the UK. But for the most part, that's pretty much it, guys. I always use the Amazon Seller app in conjunction with the other apps, because the Amazon Seller app is one of the only apps that can tell you for sure whether or not you're able to sell an item. So some stuff is restricted on Amazon, unfortunately. And so you scan it with the Amazon Seller app if you're unsure, and it will say, yes, you can sell it, or no, you cannot sell it. And sometimes I forget to do that, so I buy stuff that I'm unable to sell on Amazon, and in which case I would return it or trying to sell it on eBay. It just happens. It happens sometimes. You can't be perfect. So Scout IQ, Scoutify, FBA Scan, Profit Bandit, Scout Pal, I think is still a thing. Nido Scan if you live in another country. What else? Looking stuff on eBay, looking stuff up on eBay. I use an app called Completely. It's a $4 app, but it's way worth it. It gives you more historical data than the eBay Seller app does, so that's great. You kind of get a little TerraPeak action through there. If you guys don't know what TerraPeak is, it's a website that has a large volume of historical data on eBay. So some stuff that's really rare that you might find, you would look it up on eBay and see no listing. So you might think, no data at all. So you might think it's worthless, but in reality, it's just so rare that it only sells once every 6 months or once a year. And I believe eBay Seller app and eBay in general only shows the last 3 months of data. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Completely has more, as TerraPeak does. Now, Completely is an iOS only app, but there is another app that's very similar and actually free that I believe is iOS and Android compatible. If you know what it is, please put it in the comments down below. And I'll take a couple questions. I'm approaching my 10-minute mark here. I got 3 minutes left to answer a few questions. Sacha said the Amazon Seller app is cool. Been using it for a few weeks. Yes, I definitely recommend everybody who's new to the flip game understand how to use the Amazon Seller app and actually go through the stuff that's in your own house. Shop your house using the Amazon Seller app, scanning anything that has a barcode and even manually looking stuff up, and try to find stuff that you don't want or you don't need any longer that you can sell on Amazon to get going. Maybe you have some books, maybe you have some gifts you've received that are unopened and sealed. Everybody has, you know, 100, 200, 500, if not a couple $1,000s worth of stuff that they don't need, that they're no longer using, either in their house, boxed up in their garage, or in their storage unit. And that's kind of why I started the 5-box challenge, is to show people that everybody has some junk that's worth money. You know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. So use that to bankroll your reselling business. Let's see. What's up, baby boy? Should you be an Amazon Pro seller even before you make your first dime? No, Kenny. So you do not want to be an Amazon Pro seller unless you're selling 40 items a month or more. The reason is because it costs $40 to be an Amazon Pro merchant. And one of the benefits you receive from being a pro merchant is that they remove the $1 charge per item sold as a non-pro merchant. So if you're a pro merchant paying $40 a month and you sell 40 items a month, you break even the same amount as if you would have been charged if you weren't a pro merchant. But as soon as you sell the 41st item, you actually save $1. And I made a few videos back on my channel talking about how I didn't know this in my first year of selling, and I sold over 10,000 items my first year as an Amazon seller without being a pro merchant. So I essentially lost $10,000. So you don't have to do it, but as soon as your volume of sales go up, you should do it. The other thing is that as a pro merchant, you're able to apply for restricted categories that are gated to get approval, which is definitely wanted and needed if you want to grow your business. Let's get a couple more questions. What do you use for shipping? I choose to use UPS, even though FedEx is a little bit cheaper because I get free pickups using smart pickups at my house through UPS. And FedEx gives me trouble about the boxes sometimes, saying that the boxes we're using from Home Depot aren't thick enough for the weight that we're putting in them or whatever, but UPS has never given me any trouble. David says, are you coming to Seattle at the end of the month? Yes, I am. I'm actually working on booking my ticket right now. I'm so stoked for the... As soon as I book my ticket... Hold on. Timer, that's 10 minutes, so I'll wrap it up here. As soon as I book my ticket, I'll let you guys know, and I'll plan a meetup while I'm in Seattle. I'm hopefully going to be able to bring my business partner as well so he can get some skin in the merch game, because I've been running our merch account by myself so far. Let's see. Is there a flip market for new items? Bought an employee store 50% off ticket. I don't understand what that means, but I believe definitely good for new items. Wait, can you list more than 40 a month and not be a pro seller? Yes, you definitely can, Christine. If you're just starting, is it better to do FBA or ship from home? Great question. I advise you to ship from home because you're bound to make some mistakes. And if you make mistakes and you've already sent those items off to FBA, it's going to be a lot more of a headache to have to pay to get them sent back and wait for them, or to get them destroyed or whatever. If you're listing at your own house, it's not as big of a headache. But as soon as you're comfortable and you understand how the system works, I advise you to switch to using FBA, because it's the beauty of Amazon. FBA makes your business so scalable when you don't have to focus on storage or packing and shipping individual orders. You're essentially crunching all of your packing and shipping time into one day, which, imagine you have 100 items to ship and they sold, 5 a day for 20 days. That's going to take you so long to pick, pack, and pull all of those orders, versus one afternoon you can pack and ship all of that stuff to FBA. What FBA scan triggers do you use? Unfortunately, I don't share those publicly. They are available to those of you that are in my Patreon mastermind. I just got in the game. I'm trying to feed the beast. Got to feed the beast, baby. What's up, Johnny? Do you know why our account keeps getting suspended even though we just signed up? I have no idea. It must be some of your account information. Question, what is your favorite Gary Vee book? By far, Crush It. Crush It is the killer. That's the best book ever. Changed my life. It's why I actually do this right here. What software you recommend if you want to source books and RA? I mean, scouting and listing. So we use Inventory Lab to list retail arbitrage stuff. And then for books, because we have such a large volume and we need to list them much faster, we use AccelerList and ScanLister. Now, why do I use both? Because we purchased lifetime membership to ScanLister, so we have licenses for ScanLister, and we use those, and then we needed some more licenses for new workstations, so we use AccelerList as well. I like AccelerList because it's web-based, And sometimes with my workers, there'll be an update to ScanLister that will essentially break ScanLister, at least for us. Like our conditions will get erased, or our different settings will get erased, and then my workers will contact me and be like, what happened? I updated ScanLister and now I can't upload. Well, with AccelerList, we never have that issue because it just works, right? So if I have an issue with an employee and they're like, ScanLister is not working for whatever reason, I just say, go use AccelerList, and that's how we get by. Yeah, but that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope this answers your guys' question about what apps that I use to scan stuff and to make money on a daily basis. If you guys have any questions, comment down below. Click up here to check out this video. I believe you guys will be interested in this video as well. And comment anything down below. If you have any questions about this video or about any other video, comment down below. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this content. If you're not subscribed, you should be. Just my opinion. I might be biased, might be not. And I'll see you guys on the next video. And remember, if you ain't flipping, you slipping. Peace, guys.